Hey, welcome to Miss D6 Women's Sports.
Hey, welcome to Miss D6 Women's Sports. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. On a roll to 300, I'm at 211. Your subs will be greatly appreciated, and I want to get it right into it. So, since the Caitlin Clark era, the Iowa State Lady Hawkeyes is ranked in the top 10. They have some pretty key wins. Hannah Stokey's coming along. Of course, you got Chit Chat right. Pretty premier guard. You got other players that's stepping up for Iowa. It looked kind of shaky earlier in the season, but they coming along. So let's give it out to Iowa. But top 10, I don't know. So I want to see because I forgot exactly where they was at. So we all know UConn took care of business against Notre Dame, crushed them. And so they remain one of the undefeated teams at 19-0. South Carolina coming off a big win against Texas. Then they play Coppin State. UCLA been coming right along at 17-1. Texas Longhorns dropped. Oh well, they stayed pretty similar. They 19-2. They ranked number 4. Vanderbilt, the second undefeated team, almost a loss to a tough, gritty Michigan team who I like. The Commodores stayed put at number 5. They'll have a tough test with Auburn, which we will get to that. Now, the Cardinals, 18-3. They had a big win against NC State on the road. They had to pull out a tough overtime win. I like their guards. Barry, she had 33 points. And we have players who, balance scoring. They said she's one of 7 players who had led Louisville in scoring this season. So they have balanced scoring as far as their guards concerned. LSU coming right along after the first 2 losses in the SEC. They 17-2. And they move up from 8 to 7. Now taking the 8th spot is Ohio State Buckeyes, who's coming along pretty good. You have Jelani Cambridge. Oh my God. And there are 2 victories. She averaged 51 points, 11 rebounds, 14 assists. And they had a big win against a tough TCU team. So, after beating TCU, they was ranked number 14. They move up to number 8. Now, this shocks me. I'm trying to think. Iowa is 16-2. And they had some good wins. Baylor, I think. Now, Hannah Stokey. She beat Oregon and they beat Michigan State. I'm sorry. Stokey is coming along. She was starting off slow. She has a combined 40 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists, and 5 steals by shooting 65% from the field. And so you have Chit Chat and Ava Hayden who's along pouring into Iowa. But at the same time, Iowa State at number 19, you be the guess. So Baylor goes down. It was ranked. Well, it goes up. Excuse me, it's ranked 16. That's interesting losses, interesting wins. Talia Scott, up and down a little bit. So, it says since losing its Big 12 opener by 1 point to Texas Tech, Baylor has won 6 in a row, which includes road wins last week at Utah and BYU. And Talia Scott had 39 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. So their defense has gotten better, and they lead the Big 12. and at third in Division I in blocks per game with 7.2. So the blocks and the defense are there. But like I said, the between Iowa, Baylor, and Michigan, even though Michigan has some tough losses, they play you tough. Is Iowa better than Michigan? They play the same conference. We're going to see sooner or later. Is Baylor still better than Iowa with the games they had to play, the teams they played that Iowa have played? Even though they had some big wins, Michigan State is ranked. So yeah, but is Baylor competition better than Iowa? Can you put Baylor ahead of Iowa? Can you put Michigan ahead of Iowa? So number 9, no. But can you switch and say, I would say Michigan, number 9. It'd be a Michigan number 9. Leave Baylor where they at, and then move down and trade Michigan for the Iowa Hawkeyes for right now. So those are shocking. They got Kentucky ranked number 12. It's 17-3. Now Kentucky had an interesting, after beating LSU, they lost to a ranked Alabama, but for them to go and beat LSU, then come back, I know it's on the road. SEC is tough. To have a downer like that, not only did they lose, they got mollywopped. So it wasn't like a close loss to Alabama. But they still a tough team to play. And they had a big win against Florida, which is a tough team. They trailed by 7 at the 3 quarters. And they had a big 4th quarter to win. Now, I like some of the players, Kara Strack, Morgan. But, we'll see. They kind of up and down. Now, TCU. Wow. TCU was ranked number 9. Is Iowa better than TCU? Even with that loss to a game, Ohio State. Now, Ohio State is pretty good. Jelani Cambridge. And even though they lost Cody McMahon, it's a pretty solid team. So I don't know. This poll it's going to change. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Texas Tech, they moved down with the loss. It says after winning their first 19 games, the Lady Raiders were held to the lowest points total and a 65-59 loss at home to Kansas State. The biggest problem was rebounding. Was K-State prevailing 46-20 in the rebounding. Wow. They dropped them real far. I mean, I know it was but one loss, you dropped to number 14 from 10. And as much as I said, no, there's no disrespect to Iowa. Is Iowa better than Texas Tech? How are we ranking them? Because Texas Tech played a pretty good schedule. Well, Iowa played a tough schedule too, but I don't know. So you got Ole Miss 16-4, Oklahoma they 14-4, and they went down from 13 to 16. Top 10 or 11 or whatever, nobody, or top 25. So let's get to tomorrow. We're going to have Truth Thursday. And we're going to find out from the Thursday's games to the Sunday games how the poll is going to shake up. Now, I just mentioned the Iowa. I just mentioned South Carolina. Also mentioned Oklahoma. So let's go back into it. We're going to skip the Huskies because they play in Georgetown. Tomorrow, Truth Thursdays. South Carolina They're on the road against Oklahoma. Now, Reagan Beers, Chavez, and company against South Carolina. Can Oklahoma pull the upset? Can Oklahoma physically match up with South Carolina? Can Reagan Beers match up with a Colt? Can Chavez do her thing with Raven Johnson hovering over her? We're going to see. We're going to see if it's a test, because Raven Johnson is not a joke. And you got a freshman, it's like chopped liver. And who is going to guard Joyce Edwards? Who's going to guard Laxon? I mean, it's just so many people. I predict, even on the road, South Carolina will win. It's going to be tough, but they will win, because matchup-wise, I think South Carolina is more athletic, more bigger. They're bigger than Oklahoma. And the guard matchup is just, it's going to set the tone. Like I said, Chavez, she's really going to have to be, not take quick shots, not take circus shots. She's going to have to be controlled, because Raven Johnson would take advantage of that. She had to take care of the ball, no turnovers. Raven Johnson's good at stealing the ball. So, can she be more mature to handle the pressure that Raven Johnson is going to bring? Another game that could affect Truth Tuesday is Iowa versus Maryland. Maryland is going to be a tough matchup, and they at Maryland. It's a big test for Iowa to prove that they deserve a number 9 ranking. Can Hannah Stokey continue her play? Can Chit Chat bring something to the table even more? We will see. Can they stop Maryland guards, Lucci or whatever? We'll see. So it's very few teams. Like some of these teams are not really playing anybody. These are expected wins, but Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Iowa, we're gonna see if they're really about that life. Thursday will be the first telling games as far as the top 5 or the top 10. Who's going to stay in that top 10 area? Who's going to drop? Is Iowa for real in the top 10? And Truth Thursdays is coming up tomorrow. I will be watching a lot of these major games. Try to give some of my input. Miss D for 6 Women Sports. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm at 211 on my road to 300. Hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Peace.